Negotiation is a skill that can make a significant difference in both your personal and professional life. Whether you're discussing a raise, closing a business deal, or negotiating with your kids, having the right tools can make all the difference. Chris Voss's book, Never Split the Difference, offers an innovative approach to negotiation rooted in the high-stakes world of FBI hostage negotiations. In this video, we'll explore the strategies Voss used to successfully negotiate in life-and-death situations and how you can apply these techniques to everyday negotiations. From understanding the psychology behind negotiations to mastering practical tactics, you'll learn how to achieve your goals without compromising. By the end of this video, you'll have a deep understanding of how to negotiate effectively and come out on top in any scenario. Let's dive in. Chapter 1: The New Rules: How to Become the Smartest Person in Any Room. Chris Voss introduces a new set of rules for negotiation, grounded in psychological insights and real-world experiences. The traditional view of negotiation often involves logical arguments and rational compromises. However, Voss argues that humans are inherently emotional beings, and understanding these emotions is key to successful negotiation. Tactical empathy, or understanding the feelings and mindset of your counterpart, becomes crucial. This involves recognizing their perspective and using that understanding to influence the outcome. For instance, in a workplace scenario, imagine you're leading a team that's been assigned a new project. One of your team members, John, is visibly reluctant and unenthusiastic. Instead of pushing him to comply, you decide to apply tactical empathy. You take John aside and ask him about his concerns regarding the project. He reveals that he had a similar project in the past which turned out to be a disaster, causing him significant stress. By acknowledging his past experience and expressing understanding of his feelings, you help John feel heard and valued. This approach can transform his reluctance into a willingness to give the new project a chance. Tactical empathy, therefore, not only addresses immediate concerns, but also fosters a cooperative atmosphere where team members feel supported and understood. Chapter 2: Be a Mirror: How to Quickly Establish Rapport. One of the foundational techniques in Voss's approach is mirroring. This technique involves repeating the last 3 words, or the critical 1 to 3 words, of what your counterpart has just said. Mirroring encourages the other person to elaborate, providing more information and demonstrating that you are paying close attention. Consider a scenario where you are in a meeting with a potential business partner who expresses dissatisfaction with your proposal by saying, "This isn't what I expected." Instead of jumping to defend your proposal, you use mirroring by responding, "What you expected?" This prompts the partner to provide more details about their expectations, revealing valuable information that you can use to adjust your proposal accordingly. Mirroring not only helps in gathering more information, but also shows that you are actively listening and interested in understanding their perspective. This technique can uncover deeper issues or hidden concerns, allowing you to address them more effectively and reach a satisfactory resolution. Chapter 3: Don't Feel Their Pain, Label It: How to Create Trust with Tactical Empathy. Labeling is another powerful technique in Voss's arsenal. It involves identifying and verbalizing the emotions that the counterpart is experiencing. This helps diffuse negative emotions and strengthens the connection. Use phrases like, "It sounds like you are feeling," or "It seems that you," to acknowledge their emotions without judgment. For example, you are negotiating a contract with a long-term client who seems unusually tense and irritable. Rather than ignoring their demeanor or becoming defensive, you choose to label their emotions. You might say, "It seems like you're feeling frustrated with the current terms." This simple act of acknowledgement can diffuse their negative emotions and open up a more honest dialogue. The client might then share specific concerns about the contract terms that are causing their frustration. By addressing these concerns directly, you not only improve the chances of a successful negotiation, but also strengthen your relationship with the client. Labeling emotions, therefore, is a powerful tool for navigating and resolving underlying issues in any negotiation. Chapter 4: Beware Yes, Master No: How to Generate Momentum and Make It Safe to Reveal the Real Stakes. Contrary to traditional beliefs, hearing no in a negotiation can be beneficial. It provides clarity on the counterpart's boundaries and opens the door to understanding their true concerns. Encourage the other party to say no to minor questions to make them feel in control and more comfortable during the negotiation. For instance, you're negotiating a project timeline with a client who is hesitant about the proposed schedule. Instead of pushing for a yes, you might ask, would it be unreasonable to suggest starting with a smaller pilot project? This allows the counterpart to comfortably say no if they disagree, fostering a more genuine conversation. Embracing no as part of the negotiation process can lead to more honest discussions and help in identifying real issues that need to be addressed for a successful agreement. This technique shifts the focus from pushing for agreement to understanding the other party's concerns and working towards a solution that addresses them effectively. Chapter 5. Trigger the 2 words that immediately transform any negotiation: how to gain permission to persuade. Voss explains that getting the other person to say, "That's right," signifies alignment and agreement, showing that the other person acknowledges your perspective as accurate. He recounts a negotiation where he summarized the other party's concerns and goals, leading them to respond with, "That's right." This moment of alignment paved the way for a successful negotiation. In everyday negotiations, whether in business or personal interactions, aiming for "that's right" can be a game changer. For example, if you're pitching a new idea to your team, you could summarize their concerns and then say, "So you're worried that this new approach might be too time-consuming and risky, right?" When they respond with, "That's right," you've gained their trust and permission to propose your solution. This technique can also be used in personal relationships. Suppose you're having a disagreement with your partner. Instead of arguing your point, you could summarize their feelings by saying, "You feel that I haven't been spending enough time with you lately, right?" When they respond with, "That's right," it shows that you understand their perspective, which can help to resolve the conflict more amicably. By triggering the 2 words, "That's right," you align perspectives and gain permission to persuade. Chapter 6. Bend their reality: how to shape what is fair. Voss discusses how to shape perceptions of fairness and guide the negotiation towards your desired outcome. He introduces the concept of anchoring emotions, which involves setting expectations and framing discussions in a way that appears fair to the other party. He provides an example from a salary negotiation. Instead of starting with a specific number, he suggests discussing contributions and market standards first. This sets an emotional anchor, making your eventual ask seem more reasonable and fair in comparison. This strategy can be applied in various negotiations. For instance, if you're negotiating a contract, you might start by highlighting the value and benefits your services bring before discussing the price. This approach helps to anchor the discussion in terms of value, making your proposed price seem more justified. Another practical application could be in resolving a conflict with a colleague. Instead of immediately defending your actions, you could start by acknowledging their contributions and the importance of their role. This sets a positive tone and anchors the discussion in a context of mutual respect, making it easier to address the issue and find a resolution. By bending their reality, you shape their perception of what is fair and guide the negotiation towards your desired outcome. Chapter 7. Create the illusion of control: how to calibrate questions to transform conflict into collaboration. Voss explains that questions starting with how or what give the other party a sense of control while subtly steering the conversation in your favor. He shares an example from a hostage negotiation where he used calibrated questions to keep the dialogue going and gain valuable insights. By asking, "How am I supposed to do that?" he gave the other party the illusion of control, which helped to diffuse the situation and gather information. In everyday scenarios, calibrated questions can be incredibly effective. For instance, if a client is unhappy with a service, instead of defending yourself, you could ask, "What can we do to make this right?" This not only empowers them to express their needs, but also gives you valuable information to resolve the issue collaboratively. In a personal context, suppose you're negotiating household responsibilities with your partner. Instead of saying, "You need to do more chores," you could ask, What can we do to balance the household chores better? This approach encourages cooperation and helps to find a solution that works for both of you. By creating the illusion of control, you transform conflict into collaboration. Chapter 8: Guarantee Execution. How to spot the liars and ensure follow-through from everyone else. Voss introduces the rule of three, a technique to confirm commitment by getting the other party to agree 3 times in different ways. He recounts a negotiation where he used the rule of three to ensure that the other party would honor their commitments. By getting verbal, written, and actionable confirmations, he increased the likelihood of follow-through. In practical terms, this technique can be applied in various scenarios. For example, if you're assigning a task to a team member, you could first ask, "Can you handle this task?" Then confirm with, "Just to be clear, you'll have this done by Friday, right?" And finally, ask, "What steps will you take to ensure it's completed on time?" This triple confirmation solidifies their commitment and increases accountability. Another application could be in customer service. When resolving a complaint, you could first verbally assure the customer that the issue will be addressed, then send a follow-up email confirming the steps that will be taken, and finally, provide an actionable plan with deadlines. This approach not only builds trust, but also ensures that the resolution process is transparent and accountable. By guaranteeing execution, you ensure follow-through and spot potential dishonesty. Chapter 9: Bargain Hard: How to Get Your Price. Voss advocates for bargaining hard while maintaining empathy and understanding. This involves setting high but justifiable expectations and negotiating strategically to achieve them. Voss provides a step-by-step process for effective bargaining, focusing on the Ackerman model. This strategic bargaining method involves setting a target price and making calculated concessions to reach your goal efficiently. He explains the Ackerman model with an example from his FBI negotiations, where he used this method to reach a favorable outcome. The model involves starting with an initial offer at 65% of your target price, then increasing in smaller increments, such as 85% and 95% with each counteroffer, using empathy and tactical mirroring throughout the process. In a real-world scenario, this method can be applied to various negotiations. For instance, when buying a car, you could start with an initial offer significantly lower than your target price and gradually increase it based on the seller's responses. This disciplined approach helps you stay within your budget and secure the best possible deal. Consider a scenario where you're negotiating a sales deal for your company. You start with a price that is slightly higher than what you actually expect to settle for, providing room for negotiation. Throughout the process, you use tactical empathy to understand the client's concerns and adjust your offers strategically. By balancing hard bargaining with empathetic listening, you can secure a deal that meets your objectives while ensuring the client feels valued and respected. Chapter 10: Find the Black Swan: How to Create Breakthroughs by Revealing the Unknown Unknowns. Black swans are unexpected pieces of information that can significantly alter the course of a negotiation. Identifying and leveraging these can provide a substantial advantage. Always be on the lookout for unique pieces of information about the counterpart that can change the dynamics of the negotiation. In a business negotiation, discovering that the other party is under time pressure to close the deal can give you leverage to negotiate more favorable terms. Being attuned to these hidden factors can dramatically shift the balance of power in your favor and lead to better outcomes. The key is to remain observant and open-minded, constantly seeking out the critical pieces of information that others might overlook. This proactive approach can reveal opportunities and constraints that fundamentally change the negotiation landscape. Bonus chapter: No Neediness: Having the Ready-to-Walk Mindset. No deal is better than a bad deal. In negotiations, one of the most critical mindsets you can adopt is the ready-to-walk attitude. This mindset means that you are prepared to leave the negotiation if the terms do not meet your minimum acceptable criteria. It's about valuing your own needs and boundaries and not being so invested in the outcome that you compromise on your principles or settle for less than you deserve. Chris Voss emphasizes that neediness can be sensed by the other party and used against you. When you appear desperate or overly eager to make a deal, you lose leverage and can be pressured into unfavorable terms. Instead, cultivate a mindset where you're genuinely prepared to walk away. This not only protects your interests, but also projects confidence and strength. Imagine you are negotiating a salary for a new job. You've done your research and know the market rate for your position. However, the employer's offer is significantly lower than what you expect. Instead of accepting the low offer out of desperation, you express your appreciation for the offer, but state that you need a salary that aligns with market standards and your experience. You make it clear that while you are excited about the opportunity, you're also considering other offers. This ready-to-walk mindset can often prompt the employer to reconsider and present a more competitive offer. In essence, by valuing yourself and being willing to walk away from a bad deal, you maintain your integrity and often achieve better results. Remember, in negotiations, your willingness to walk away can be your most powerful tool. And there you have it, some of the most powerful negotiation techniques from Chris Voss's Never Split the Difference. Remember, negotiation is not about splitting the difference, it's about understanding the other person's perspective and finding creative solutions to get what both of you want. Whether you're negotiating a major business deal or simply trying to get your way in a personal situation, these strategies will help you achieve better outcomes. However, this is just the tip of the iceberg. The book is packed with many more insights and practical advice that can make you an even better negotiator. I highly recommend reading Never Split the Difference yourself to fully grasp all the valuable lessons Chris Voss has to offer. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more book summary videos like this. Thank you for watching. See you soon.